that when you're out there in the field, you think about a scene from a certain movie where you think, this kind of reminds me of Creature from the Black Lagoon, where something's going to pop up.
Absolutely. I mean, Jaws is often quoted on the show. That's for all of our water episodes, there'll be long reenactments of scenes from from Hooper and Brody from Jaws and certainly, yeah. I mean, there are times when you're in these places where you can't help but reference, whether it's some of the classic, even Universal monsters. We just did a werewolf episode that's going to be appearing this season in Romania, and it's hard not to, harken back to some of the classic monster movies, and so that stuff sometimes even makes its way onto the show. You'll see occasionally references to films in the show.
Okay, so then since you guys do reference Jaws a lot, then who amongst your crew is sort of the devil-may-care, rebel, loose cannon Quint character?
I don't know that we have a Quint, right? I mean, Quint is sort of Ahab. I mean, he's like he ultimately is sort of insane. And I think there's probably a little bit of Quint in me. There's probably a little bit of Quint in my director of photography as well. But I think that I think if we had a true Quint on the show, we would probably all be, at the bottom of the ocean somewhere at this point.
All right.
He's a loose cannon. I mean, you really can't have someone that crazy out there.
Yeah. Still, maybe one episode you need to bring like a Quint out there for the hunt.
Absolutely. I would love to have someone who's just a complete, obsessive Ahab type on the show who will essentially stop at nothing to find the creature in question.
Whatever it is, it's a predator. For sure, you know what I mean?
I mean, it grabbed onto that thing.
We need a bigger boat.
We do need a bigger boat.
Let's say someone offered you an acting gig in a huge blockbuster movie and you were offered tons of money, but because of the shoot you would be relegated to a life of airports, hotels, press junkets, and premieres, but you could never do any crazy travels ever again. Like you couldn't go out into the jungle or out into the Arctic tundra or anything spontaneous ever again. Would you want to do that, or do you think you'd stick with DT?
Well,
yeah, Josh, what would you do?
Brad would like to know. Well, I think the easy answer is that I have a contract with the Syfy channel that lasts for another year or so, and so for that time, I'm committed to working with the channel. So I would probably, that would be an easy decision because I've certainly made a commitment to the channel that I want to see out, and they've been really good to me, and so that's certainly where my priorities are right now. If that were not the case, look, I would love to do some more acting work. That's really a lot of where my background comes from. I did a lot of theater in college, and I was working out here in LA, trying to balance acting and travel and getting into on-camera work in a variety of different areas. I do think, though, that now that Destination Truth has come together and the show is doing well, and I've had the opportunity to really work as a travel host for the last few years, I really think that this is where I belong in the industry. I think that, if I get my way, I'd like to be doing travel television for a long time to come, and hopefully that will, give me opportunities to do other stuff along the way as well. But I think for me, I'm really happy, being this kind of rough shot travel explorer guy. I think there's certainly room for it on television these days, and I think that people seem to respond to it. So I think I'm pretty happy where I am.
Cool. I know that they really do a horrible job of remaking movies, but if they remade Jaws and asked you to be in it, would you be in it?
Oh, that's different. I would drop everything.
Oh my God.
If they remade Jaws, I would actually just take the lawsuit from Syfy and quit the channel tomorrow.
And who would you be in Jaws?
I would be Hooper, probably.
You would be?
Oh my God.
I think so. I'm not young enough to be Quint, right? He's the old sort of, salty, seasoned veteran.
Maybe in the remake he's not, though. Maybe in the remake he's,
He's probably Ashton Kutcher in the remake.
Yeah.
Break silence only to discuss something critical to the investigation.
Has there ever been a really good movie about a sea monster? 20,000 Leagues, obviously Giant Squid, but any really good, river monster or sea monster movies?
I thought that Kraken was pretty cool.
Oh, it looked horrible. That Kraken looked horrible.
I feel like it.
Carter?
Anaconda.
Anaconda. No, that Kraken looked terrible in Pirates.
Tip. When hunting for a lethal monster, probably best not to talk about fake monsters. It draws focus from your investigation and invites an ironic death on camera from an actual monster.
You know, I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been a really good sea monster movie. Godzilla, I guess, is technically a sea monster movie.
What, Godzilla?
It comes out of the ocean, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you don't see him in the ocean.
There's something with that big octopus comes out of the ocean. Maybe that's Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Goonies is not about a sea monster.
And although it isn't technically a monster, I probably should have mentioned Jaws because there really is no debating that it's the best movie ever made. Those who would disagree, I would hasten to point out that you're wrong. Jaws is great.
Well, while I'm waiting for some fans to call in, how about another either or question? Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jaws. If you had to watch only one of those movies for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
So it's an absolutely unfair question, first of all, because they're basically the two best films ever made. I'm going to say this might be the dark horse winner, but I'm definitely going to say Jaws.
Yeah,
I know Jaws backwards to forwards. I mean, I know them both backwards to forwards, but for some reason Jaws is to me, if I can only watch one forever, it might be Jaws.
That's a good answer. I like that.
No mermaids on display here, so we pressed onto the harbor where we got down to business. After our kayaks and vomit-inducing dinghies, we were, to crib a line from my favorite movie, gonna need a bigger boat. This is nice.